What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Level With You show. It is a weekly video game podcast where the four of us get together and talk about, you guessed it, video games. My name is Wiley Olmstead, and as always, I am joined by Anthony Dewart.
I thought you thought I was going to say something, but I didn't say anything.
Kenny Castro.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
And the man with the plan, who likes the song Stan, who's in the band, Tyler Hadley.
Hey, guys. It's almost the end of the decade.
It's almost the end of the decade. We are going in 2020 with 2020 vision.
I wish. I gotta go get a new script.
No, but yeah, it's been a big year for Level With You and for me and my personal life. A lot of changes, a lot of big stuff happening, and yeah, I'm feeling a little celebratory.
You can do it. Woo! Keep twisting it. You can do it.
A beanbag.
This is broken.
Oh, you gotta
Tyler.
do that thing.
Are you sure?
The bottom.
No, twist it.
Okay.
Twist it. Yeah.
If you're listening to the audio version, we are trying to explode these little confetti poppers that Tyler bought for 5 cents.
Come on, if I can do this last night, I can do this now.
Hey.
All right,
Whoa,
you
that
can
was
take over.
spring-loaded.
I got a host. All right, no. All right, so you can find us on podcast services if you didn't know that, as well as SoundCloud. And we're also up on YouTube on Wednesday if you can't catch the whole episode live and you'd like to watch the video on demand. If you would give us a like, we'd appreciate it. If even better, if you could give us a subscribe. Every subscriber counts. We're getting close to that 150 number. If we could get there by the end of the year, that'd be pretty sweet. Come on.
If we could shoot for 151, that'd be even better.
Oh, yeah, just like the original 151 Pokemon.
It'd make me very happy.
Yes. Well, guys, so Christmas happened. Last week it was Christmas Eve.
Oh my God, I forgot.
Or the day before.
Whoa.
All right, now we can have a New Year's podcast. So it was Christmas. How'd you guys make out? How'd you do? How did you have fun with your loved ones? More importantly,
Good. What did I do? I got really drunk. I was telling you guys before the podcast. I got drunk on Christmas Eve. I ate too many leftovers, and I watched a bunch of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and Step Brothers. And then I woke up at like 4 a.m. and had a big tummy ache. But other than that, it was pretty good.
okay,
That's awesome.
Yeah.
sounds pretty good. What about you, Kenny? You got the family, so
Yes. So we enjoyed it. Christmas Eve was amazing. We hit up a couple houses, and then Christmas Day, the kids and everybody opened their presents, and they just loved it. And I loved my presents. My fiance loved what I got her and what the kids got her.
Mm-hmm.
So it was good. One of the best Christmases so far. We try to step it up every year.
oh wow, that's gotta be tough. That's
Yeah.
gotta be a lot of pressure.
It is. It's becoming tough. It's
Yeah.
becoming tough.
Yeah, I saw the group photo of you guys all in the matching PJs. That was very
Yeah.
cute.
It's adorable.
Yeah.
We try.
I was glad you're sending them what you got for Christmas back in the group chat. I was like, man, this makes me wish that I actually wanted stuff this year. I was like, I want to share cool things too.
What about you, Tyler?
My Christmas was pretty low key. Made my rounds to the families, mom's house, dad's house, exchanged some gifts. Got a snowblower, so I'm looking forward to using that in the next snowstorm.
Yeah, so you're like, bring it on, man. I'm
I
ready.
know, for real.
It's good workout
Except,
too.
except I know once it actually snows, I'm gonna probably have like a terrible time trying to start a snowblower, and then
Right.
I'm gonna get really frustrated and just shovel
I'm in
it.
the same boat, I
Maybe
don't blame
who
you.
knows? I don't know.
I've never
Hopefully
actually
not.
used a snowblower. Have you?
I mean, I've used one like years ago, probably when my mom and dad had a working one.
Gotcha.
But I was thinking back to Kenny and his family and their PJs. That totally should have been something we did. We should have just done a show in our PJs. We should have a slumber party.
I sleep
true.
naked, so I don't know if that's gonna fly. I don't have PJs.
Well, I mean, we're sitting at a table.
That's true.
I mean,
Just they could just see my gut hanging
nobody has
out
to
and be like,
know you're not naked.
I'm not.
Yeah,
Or maybe
very
you
true.
are.
Or maybe, who knows? Could be having a little fun under the table. Who knows?
So Tyler, my question: you're gonna use a snowblower for your 10 feet of driveway?
Yeah, dude. And the sidewalk.
You're gonna get a little extra money hitting all the houses.
I mean,
Good call.
I just thought about it. I'm like snowblower, and I'm
it's
like
more than 10 feet. It's more like 20 feet if you factor in
side to side.
The back of the
Yeah.
driveway.
Exactly.
And it's a pain. My driveway is a pain because I'm directly next to my neighbors. So shoveling, I have to pick up the snow from that side of the driveway and bring it to my lawn.
But why don't you just start from that side and make your way towards the lawn when you're shoveling?
You still have to make a path to start on that side.
No, you just walk over it and then you just start jumping from that side.
You're still making multiple trips.
That's how
Why
I
don't you
do
just
usually.
call Kenny up when it snows next, and he'll show you the
he'll do it
ropes.
apparently.
Yeah.
It's so easy.
You see mine. I got two sides.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. It's easy.
I'm right next to my neighbors too.
You can shovel one path down the middle and then throw
That's
it on both sides.
I just make my way from left side to right side. Throw it on my neighbor's side.
Just let your neighbors deal with it, and then just write "I'm
Whatever.
sorry" with a heart in it in the snow. I'm sure they'll forgive you.
Anybody want to know how my Christmas was?
Yes, I wasn't.
Wiley, how was your Christmas?
It was pretty good. It was very good. So we've done this for a few years now. We do the Christmas Eve up in Shelburne with my now wife's folks, and her mom makes a really good meal. It's a Sicilian thing. They make 7 types of fish, or they don't make. They have 7 types of fish. So like shrimp cocktail, like a salmon pate, smoked mussels, with the like kind in a can, which are still really good. And then she made a really good haddock in a tomato sauce thing. And then 2 others that I can't think of right now.
Sounds really good.
Yeah.
I like the non-traditional Christmas meals a lot. I like when people spice it up and don't do the like ham, potatoes. I love those. Don't get me wrong, but it's nice to see that spice.
Yeah, I don't get when people do turkey. It was like, you just did that 1 month ago. Come on.
I even have like people that do lasagna for Thanksgiving. That's rad.
Yeah, that's cool. So that was a good time. I woke up and opened some gifts there. My brother-in-law and sister-in-law's baby is just 1, and he's adorable, and he made it a lot more fun as well. And got some good stuff there. I think I did a pretty good job with gift giving. I got complimented on my gift giving skills a few times. That always feels good. And then we went over to Northampton and spent time with my folks and do it all over again. So it was nice. I got some really good gaming headphones, which
Hell yeah.
I know you did too, and that's like totally changed our gaming habits.
Completely. The headset my fiance got me, I hear the world. It's like a whole new world to me.
Yeah, there's definitely new stuff I'm picking up in Call of Duty as well.
I'm hearing footsteps that I didn't even know existed. At first, I thought people knew where I was, and when they just came out of a corner and just shot me because they were cheating. Now I'm doing it to people because I hear them coming, and I'm like, "Oh, these footsteps sound so loud down this left corridor."
Totally, and there's even little things, ambient stuff in the background, and as well as like in the Piccadilly map, if you stand still in one of the shops, there's like music playing that I never realized before. Just little touches like that. So I've really been enjoying it with COD, and then last night played it with Star Wars, and I'd say that enhanced it as well. So. But overall, food was excellent. Gifts were fun. I was exhausted by 8 o'clock just from all the day drinking and picking up wrapping paper that I'm so OCD about. But yeah,
How does all this confetti make you feel?
it's not my house, so I don't care.
He's freaking out inside. He's doing a pretty good job of.
No, but if it matches the environment and the occasion, it's fine.
We're fun. We have fun.
Why'd you have to mention it, Tyler?
That's like when you think about you blinking, like you're really just not like you exist and you think about like, man, how many times have I blinked and you just keep thinking about that? I don't know why I just said that because now I'm gonna not stop thinking about that.
I wonder how many times you've blinked.
That's okay.
Yeah, I just went into this little hole.
I saw you deteriorate as you were saying
I was
that.
like, why am I thinking about that? Should have got Tyler headphones for Christmas. That's what his cats are always eating his headphones.
You just need to get him like 12 from Five Below. We'll all pitch in.
Yeah,
just give him a year's supply of headphones. Just don't even have to be careful.
Not
Joker
even
chews them up.
though.
You just be like, oh well, that
No,
was
my
part of the
stuff's down
plan.
here. Not everything's down here. I don't have to worry as much.
That is nice.
That's true.
I think we just need to get them some that have a case. Once he's done, puts it in the case. There's no way they could eat it unless they eat the case first.
Am I really gonna put it in the case every single time I'm done playing?
I would if they're expensive.
Maybe you
Yeah,
should get
true.
your cats a pair of headphones. Maybe they just want yours, and then that's the only way they can use them is eating them.
You guys should get me a pair of headphones with the cat ears on it, and I'll be one of those streamer girls.
No, because then I'm gonna get really weird mixed feelings. I already have a bunch of those going on inside. I want to be like, man,
That's all it takes for you to turn into a streamer girl with some cat ears.
Yeah,
you need a little bit more of this, but we can fix that up with a couple Wendy's trips. No problem. We'll get you on the plan.
All right.
Nice.
my birthday's coming up next month.
Oh yeah.
That is
Right,
true.
well,
A couple
yeah.
weeks.
It always
right?
sneaks up on me.
Well, you know what I'm getting you? Wendy's gift card and Five Below gift card.
I think I also got something a little something for you, Anthony, in my car. So I forgot to bring it inside, but
It's okay.
just had to remind myself. Okay, so this is our last podcast of 2019. So we are going to be looking ahead to 2020. Last week we did our retrospect, or our looking back episode, and now we're going to be looking forward to what we're most wanting to play in 2020. Some of our predictions about things that we think will happen in the industry as far as games getting released on time or delayed, or what's going to surprise people most. So we've prepared some of that ahead of time. So again, there's not a whole lot of news happening around this time of year. Most people are taking vacations and spending time with loved ones. We have literally one story, and it's a fluff story to talk about. But we are going to start the show off with how we usually do after our weekly catch up with what we've been playing. So, Tyler, tell me about Super Mash.
Did I talk about Super Mash last week? I can't remember if I had played it at that time.
Yeah, you had.
Oh, really?
Slightly.
Well, you said hey, I played Super Mash, and then I was like, wow, that's already out. And you said, yeah, it's on Steam, and that's all I remember from the conversation.
So I think I only played like a very little bit at that time.
Okay, so.
But yeah, it's a pretty cool game. You're mashing up two different kinds of genres. I wouldn't say it's the most engaging game. I mean, it just it has like the developer cards. So every time you beat a genre, you unlock new developer cards that you can kind of put into certain types of genres that you're playing. So you can have a JRPG shooter where it's kind of like the Galaga type shooter. And sometimes you'll be playing in a JRPG setting with like a Galaga fighter plane. Sometimes you'll be in like the fighter plane setting with like a JRPG type character, and then you run into random encounters. We have to do like a 3-on-1, 2, or 3 turn-based combat.
How long are the games that you get mashed up?
They typically range between like 3 to 6 minutes.
Oh wow, that's way shorter than I thought. Wow.
Yeah, they're super quick. Because I think it's trying to encourage you to play as many different mashups as you can. Mm-hmm. And then they always have like a little story narrative at the beginning of them, which are just super cheesy narratives that don't
for
really...
the game or for you as the player. I guess for the player.
For the mashup game that you create. They're not really anything super interesting. Mm-hmm. But then there's another objective in the game where you're trying to create these prime games, which is basically like the final boss for each type of genre, because you have a book that, depending on the type of mashup and the type of ending you get, and I'm not sure if they're like completely random or if you have to play certain mashups in order to unlock certain things for those prime bosses. I haven't figured that out yet, which is kind of frustrating because there is a story to the entire game where you're the brother of your sister owns a video game store, and the landlord is evicting you, and you need to figure out a way to stay in your store, and you end up finding this mash machine at a yard sale, and they're like, oh, well, we're going to create a bunch of mashes and turn them into PC ROMs, and then we're going to sell them to people, and we're going to be able to keep the shop alive.
Wow. That's pretty meta.
Yeah.
It sounds interesting. I definitely want to like check it out. Was it full price on Steam, or is it on Switch yet?
It's only on the Epic Game Store right now. Right now I think they're still doing a $10 coupon on the Epic Game Store. So I think it's $20 normally. So I got it for 10.
Nice.
Fair enough. And the first time we all got introduced to the game was during Nintendo's Indie Stream, or Video Direct a few weeks ago, and I texted Tyler. I was like, hey, that's actually out already on PC. And he's like, oh shit, I guess I'll go get it because it looked good. So would you recommend this game, or is it more of just a novelty that you think is going to wear thin for most people?
It's just a novelty, I think. It's definitely going to wear thin. I mean, I'm at the point where I couldn't figure out how to really progress the story. I couldn't figure out what mashes I needed to do. And I was kind of already at this point in the game getting tired of all the different mashes. And even like they don't give you any real reason to use developer cards unless you want to just like play a level with a flamethrower or like some other different type of gun, or if you had a favorite character or something like that.
Gotcha.
And they have like glitches that they introduce into games. Regardless of any mash that you play, there's always going to be like a positive glitch and a negative glitch. and every time when you do something, the glitch occurs. Sometimes the glitches are really annoying. Like every time you kill an enemy or shoot or something like that, it just sends you moving in a random direction, which pretty much made like the entire MASH impossible to progress through.
That seems like gimmicky for gimmick's sake and not very fun.
Yeah, and at times like that, it was not fun. I had to quit and restart.
You can't bug it out? Like you kind of just stuck with it for that run?
Yeah.
That sucks.
Huh. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but I think it's a really cool concept, just being able to mash two genres together. If that sounds like worth the mediocre experience, maybe check out Super Mash. Yeah. Anything else you wanted to say before we move on to the next game?
No, you guys can move on.
Okay, cool. Well, I was talking last week a little bit about Shovel Knight King of Cards. I was probably mid-game last time I was talking about it. I was very into it. I was so-so on the card game aspect, and that's where I remain. It's definitely my least favorite part of it, but it's okay, and I think that I eventually became to understand the mechanics a little bit more. But holy shit, this game is like way bigger and longer than Shovel Knight, the first game. And this is thought of as by most people DLC. I did not need to pay for this. I bought Shovel Knight way back when, like 4 or 5 years ago. And it was, I believe, $15 or $20 at the time. I think retail now is $40 because it includes 4 campaigns: Plague Knight, Spectre Knight, King Knight, and then the original Shovel Knight. King Knight is easily the best of the 3 expansions, in my opinion. Spectre Knight was neat. That came close, but this just has a breadth to it. I mean, it's got a massive overworld, or not overworld, but Super Mario Bros. 3 style map with dozens and dozens of levels. By the time I beat the game, there was still 6 that I hadn't even touched. Each level has its own secrets to find. There are over I didn't even find half of the tools or the things that can pretty mix up the gameplay in a big way just by hitting triangle. So like one of them is a projectile based. One of them gives you a shield that if you get hit, you can shoot out a projectile. One of them throws a rat, which is kind of King Knight. He's got a big thing going on with rats. I don't know.
That's like fetish. He's just like, I got like a rat fetish.
He's just got like rats that carry him around on a propeller type thing, and it's charming and it's nice. But the story is actually really engaging towards the end. I think the ending is phenomenal. I think it's like so. I mean, for this type of 2D action platformer that's like silly and charming, the ending is like cool in a really memorable way. It is a prequel to Shovel Knight, and it enhances the lore of the whole Shovelverse. And I think it's probably my number 9 or 10 of 2019. Like, it is that good, and I think it's I would rather play this now than Shovel Knight. I won't say that it's necessarily a better game just because of what Shovel Knight did at the time, but just can't say enough about like this game was challenging more so easily than Shovel Knight. The bosses are excellent. It's got that final encounter that has just one more form and does so in a way that was super frustrating in the moment, but looking like once I finally had climbed that mountain, I was like, holy shit, that was so epic. Like it's like a 9 out of 10 game. It really is.
Wow.
Like,
Would you recommend people who say are going to pick up the game for the first time for the Switch or something in Treasure Trove, would you recommend them hopping right into it at first, play King Knight over Shovel Knight? I
think you could, because it is technically a prequel, but I think you get more context if you go back. I think you should play the original Shovel Knight first, and then maybe just skip to King Knight, and then go check out Spectre Knight and Plague Knight, because those have a little bit more of a demanding play style based on the powers that they have. Plague Knight especially, I think, was very tough to get a hold of his controls and to feel like you were confidently navigating those levels. But yeah, I'd still go original Shovel Knight first, then King Knight, and then the other two.
Nice.
Yeah. So what else I've been playing? In the very opening hours of Jedi Fallen Order, I think I recently got to the point where I can make a decision on whether I want to go to this planet or that planet. Did you get there?
Yeah.
And then you can go to one that they're like, you could go here, but the objectives over here. So
I
which
would
one did you
recommend.
choose to?
I haven't chosen yet.
Oh.
But I'm in the process. I'm going with Dothmere, which is the one that's not the objective.
Okay.
Because that is where you get the double lightsaber.
Oh, okay.
Lightsaber.
Gotcha.
It's a little harder because the enemies are tougher. You're not ready for those.
I started it and I was like, yeah, fuck this. I'm going back to the ship. I'm going back to the other planet.
But from everybody that I've talked to that has played the game and beat the game, they say that the double lightsaber, to get it early on, the first chance you can, even if it's a little challenging, they recommend it.
So is that just something you go with for the rest of the game? You're just like, yeah, I'm Darth Maul now.
Pretty much.
Okay, gotcha. I think the game so far has made a strong opening impression from a story standpoint. I like the setup with, sort of trying to hide and the aftermath of the fucking, what's it called? Order 66, where all the Jedis were executed.
Yep.
I think that Cal is people shit on this performance so far. I don't have a problem with it. I think he's a totally acceptable protagonist. There's definitely more flavor in the side characters. But overall, I think it makes a good first impression. I think that the weakest part of it for me is just the stormtroopers and how lame their quips are. So far, I'm really getting bothered by that. I don't know. Like, they're trying to make it like...
What was the worst one you've heard so far?
Now you put me on the spot.
Or the best worst? When you think of it.
Oh, yeah, because they just say things like, oh, I can take you easily. And like, after you just mowed down like 4 of their other guys. Or just...
generic bad guy banter.
Generic bad guy banter, but they do it in a voice that it reminds me of the NPCs from Hitman.
Oh, God.
But they do it in an amazing way in Hitman because they're... I don't know. There's a variety. This is all, I swear, one voice actor.
It might be.
And it's like all supposed. I get they're supposed to be clones, and this is seemingly a small nitpick, but with the amount of times you're fighting stormtroopers, it can kind of break the immersion and make it feel like, I don't know.
Yeah, but they like the
tear down.
enemy.
Because you haven't gone to any of the worlds, right? No.
No, I've gone to I think 3 planets by now.
After when you get to started going to the objective already, right? So you already fought some of the harder troopers,
For sure, there's tougher troopers, but they're still saying the same stupid
pretty
crap.
much the same crap, exactly. and that's the hard part. But I feel like I don't know.
Doesn't bother you?
I had to pay attention. I'm like half the
maybe
time
it was because I was wearing the headphones last night,
and I haven't played it with the headphones.
Yeah,
so maybe
because
It's
not
like they're
really...
whispering in your ear, like, I'm gonna get you now.
No, but as you get closer, you definitely hear it more clearly.
And as being a pretty veteran Souls player, I feel pretty at home with the combat. Instantly, what I did was I made attack R1 and heavy attack R2.
Nice.
Because that just feels right. Maybe I'll run into an issue with that later on, but so far so good. L1 is counter, just like it is in Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. It's very easy to pull off. I'm playing on normal. I'm thinking about bumping up to hard.
Yeah.
But I've heard from some people that normal is too easy and hard's too hard.
Oh, God.
No middle.
Yeah. But I'm 3 hours in now and mostly positive. It doesn't run great. It's a pretty looking game at times. At other times, it's like could have used. It doesn't feel quite as AAA as, of course, like an Uncharted or something like that. But yeah, having fun with it, and I'm sure I've got a good 15, 20 hours to go. So it's not the last you've heard about Jedi Fallen Order.
Is it exactly Souls-like combat? Is it pretty much the exact same, or is it
Practically?
Yeah.
I mean,
they pretty much even have the like the bonfire.
No, what do you rest at? Is it like a little guy?
it's a meditation point.
It's a meditation point.
Yeah, I mean it's streamlined. Like there's less customization. You're not like picking a build. I mean you do have a skill tree that I assume most of it will be filled out. I don't know if you necessarily have to be speccing a certain way. Maybe early on. I've only probably filled in 5 or 6 skill points at this point. But it certainly takes a lot of influence from the Souls games, from the exploration. You're opening up shortcuts. You are, as I said, there's a heavy emphasis on parrying. There are, big boss encounters, mini bosses. So yeah, it's definitely got that DNA. So
Interesting.
Yeah. Anthony and Kenny, I know you guys had a super busy week and you didn't really play anything new. Is there anything you wanted to touch on?
I bought Torchlight on the Switch. I got that on the shop for, I think it was like on sale for maybe $12, $13. Torchlight 2. I played it on the PC release Steam a couple years ago. I think it's like 4 years ago now, almost 4 or 5 years ago I played it. It's good. It's great. So far, I've only played it in handheld mode, so I haven't hooked it up to a screen.
This Torchlight 1 or 2?
2.
Okay.
It was a little weird to go back and just see there's only like 4 classes you can pick from. They're all like kind of predetermined. It's a little like this. They have the standard. There's the Berserker, which is just a guy with a big wrench. There's the rogue character, but he just has 2 pistols. And I think you can equip different weapons as well. I think only certain weapons are like delegated by class. And a mage character, and then the 4th one is a Berserker, which just has like 2 like knuckles. Or iron knuckles at least. I don't know if there's like a secondary weapon to it, because I know for like the thief you're not stuck with just pistols. You can get like a rifle, and I'm pretty sure there's some melee weapons with it. But it's just pretty much Diablo. If you ever played a Diablo game, a top-down dungeon crawler, it's exactly like that. The interface seemed nice and streamlined for Switch for the console. The only thing that bugged me was when you go into one of the menus, instead of like you have a character wheel pretty much to like see your like loot and how you can equip it to your character. When you hit right to go right, you go left. And when you hit left, you go right around the wheel, which is really disorienting and weird. So I don't know why they would choose to do that unless it's something in my settings that I have to change.
Maybe you can change that.
Yeah, but I don't know why they'd have it as default.
Yeah, speaking of that, it was very difficult for me to invert my controls in Star Wars Jedi. They make it a little hidden, but
it's not just like right options you can.
Well, it's just like you have to scroll down in a place that doesn't feel like you can scroll down.
That's weird.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I don't know why they had options like that.
Yeah, well, I think it was just an accident.
Yeah,
I'll forgive them.
They'll patch it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Like I was telling you guys before the podcast, I sat down, I bought it, I let it download. I think I was watching South Park Christmas special as well as wrapping gifts. And then I went upstairs to poop, brought my Switch, played it for like 10 minutes, and then put it down. I just wasn't really feeling it at the time. Definitely, I can see it's great with multiplayer because it's a multiplayer-focused game, but it was just good if you want your Diablo fix. And
how much was it? Like
$12, I think, when it was on sale. I don't know if it's still on sale. It might be, but
heard good things about it. I think the developer unfortunately went on to make the game Hob.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which was a big flop. Even though it was good, I think the developer might have.
Did you play that a couple years ago?
I did. Yeah, it was a good game despite the atrocious frame rate and sometimes not being easy to find where to go next. But Hob was cool for what it was.
Looked interesting.
All right, guys. So it's a short one this week. We only have one story, but I thought it was pretty cool. And then we're going to get into our year-end discussions.
Woo!
Cruising for a newsin'.
Year-end special. It's the level neutral.
As you know, The Witcher 3 is a very good video game. And did you know that this past week, even though the game is 4 years old, it was more popular than ever on Steam? This is via Kotaku. The Witcher 3 was a popular game back when it came out in 2015, but the recent release of the Netflix show has led to a huge surge in popularity for the Polish RPG, and it just set a new active player count record on Steam today with over 93,000 players playing at the same time. The news of this huge number of players came from the global community lead over at CD Projekt Red, developers of the Witcher games. He posted on Twitter a screenshot showing, at the time, 93,835 players all playing at the same time. Looking at Steam charts, it appears that even more people logged on and started playing The Witcher 3 after the screenshot was taken. The current peak is over 94,000, and it's also the 7th most played game on all of Steam.
Wow.
It's not just The Witcher 3 that is getting a boost in popularity. Older Witcher games are seeing more players too. The original game set a new record on Steam with concurrently over 12,000 people playing it. That's really, really cool. That game is like over 10 years old, is completely dated, and just because of this Netflix show is getting new life. And The Witcher 2, interestingly, only had 6,000. I mean, still an impressive number for a decade-old game. But anyway, what do you guys think?
I think it's awesome. I mean, I was considering jumping back into Witcher after watching the Netflix series. I think just because like the creatures that you see in The Witcher, you don't really see in like any other types of games. Yeah. They're just like so unique to that game, that universe, and that was kind of what made me want to go jump in, like hearing the stories from the show and wanting to go back and relive some of the stories from The Witcher 3 sounded very appealing to me. Yeah. I just don't think I have that much time to kind of play through or reinvest when there's other things I want to be doing. But Who knows? Maybe I will. The show is awesome. I finished it.
Does the Netflix show like really flesh out the lore to make it so you maybe understand the game a little better as well?
Oh, I feel like it does because it's definitely deriving more from the books, you know. And did you only play part 3?
Only played part 3.
So, I had part 3. I beat it, but didn't play the expansions. I'm part of the.
You got to play the expansions.
I'm part of the 6,000 that's hopping on part 2.
Oh,
I just started part 2 last week, within this past week. You know, very early on, maybe within the first hour, and I was like, you know what? I want to try and see what story they went with part 2 and I think it does at least well with kind of setting up a little bit at least of the witches and the sorceresses and the mages in that universe and that, you know, in that area. I think it sets up a little more background for them because it's been so long since I played Witcher 3, but I don't remember feeling like it fleshed them out that much. You know, you knew Triss, you knew Yennefer, you know, but what about everybody else, you know, like that, truly?
Well, there were a lot of good side characters, but
there was, you know,
like Dandelion and the Bloody Baron,
and
a few others that I can't name off the top of my head because it's been a few years. But
who was the dwarf that you met in the city? That was another really good character.
Oh yeah, I know who you're talking about. Oh, and who was the really ugly guy? He was such a good character too. He had like a big nose and
Ugly McSmugly.
I can't remember.
He was a great character. There were really a bunch of excellent ones.
Part 3 had amazing characters, you know, and the show does have some really good character. Like you got Jaskier, you know, the bard telling all of Geralt's stories. You know,
Is that how the show's set up? I haven't watched it yet. Is it like a bard just retelling?
No. So I won't really tell you because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed coming to the conclusion and figuring it out. You know, it's good to because I don't know if you enjoyed that, like coming to that realization. I think by episode 5, how everything was being shown to us.
Don't spoil anything.
It just like it time skips a lot.
Okay. What was I going to say? So my experience of The Witcher 3 is I was following this story with Geralt on a beat to beat basis with Ciri and with Yennefer and with Triss and with particular side quests like the Bloody Baron, but the whole warring kingdoms and the, you know, factions struggling for independence and stuff like that, I was like following on at a very baseline level of what was actually happening. So I think maybe I would hope that the show would be effective as to portraying the sort of power struggles between the kings. And, you know, everybody talks about how in The Witcher 2 you kill a king, and I didn't play The Witcher 2, so I was like, okay, I guess I did that.
Or at least you're blamed.
You're blamed.
At least that's what it seems. Within my first hour playing part 2, I'm like, okay, so you're being blamed for the king's death.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I'm not sure whether he actually did or not. So.
Exactly. And
Go back and watch a timeline.
If I remember correctly, part 3, don't you open it up with some insomnia? Or what is it? Insomnia? No,
it's a dream.
No, not the dream.
Amnesia.
Amnesia. The lack of memory. You know, he can't remember some of what happened. He's just trusting others of what they're telling him.
Sounds right. Sounds right. I remember you riding around with the old guy. You're training Ciri.
With Vesemir.
Yeah, Vesemir, another good one. Yeah.
I just remember it opening up and you're like the hot girl's in the bathtub and then there's like a scorpion. Or no, like she's coming into the bathroom, you're in the tub and she puts like a scorpion in there and he's like, oh wow, you want to be frisky? And she's like,
oh wow.
That's all I remember.
I don't remember the scorpion.
She's really hot, whatever the girl with the dark hair is.
Yennefer? Yeah.
Yennefer.
You're more of a Yennefer guy than
way more.
Than a Triss guy?
Is that the redhead one?
Yeah.
She's also sexy. I don't know, I gotta think about that.
They did not do Triss justice in the TV show.
At least not so far, I feel.
Yennefer is pretty comparable.
Yeah. I think there's room
Triss even a redhead
growth
in the show?
Yeah.
I mean, I want it to be like redhead, not just like.
I want like blood red.
Well, I'm colorblind, and at least I picked up that she was a redhead, so she's decent enough.
Maybe I'll check. I'll have to check it out now.
I would if I was you.
How many episodes is it? Just like 8?
8.
Like
I feel like that's a new thing. A lot of shows are 8 episodes. Mandalorian, Stranger Things,
Well, I feel
Witcher.
as though this was a good starting point. Don't invest too much in case
they don't continue.
In case it doesn't blow up.
It's already been picked up for season 2.
It got picked up for season 2.
Even before it came out.
And now I think it's in such demand. Right now it's the highest demanded show right now. streaming services. So I feel like that opens it up so for a 15 or 16 episode season for season 2. A higher count.
I don't know, man. That's maybe.
No, I mean I agree with Wiley. Like 8 seems like the norm for seasons.
Well, especially if they're like hour plus long
Letterkenny on
episodes.
Hulu just came out with a new season.
Yeah.
It's only 8 episodes. I think the past few seasons of theirs have been like
8, 9 episodes to 10, like 8 to 10.
I could see it going up to 12.
Okay.
It'd be cool.
I could see it going up to 12.
I could see it too.
Speaking of shows, new Black Clover. Did you see the new episode?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's getting good again finally.
I know.
Oh,
No.
It's pretty nuts right now.
Did you see the new episode of My Hero?
no, I haven't. I've been waiting for this week.
They're
This
all
is when it
getting
comes
good.
out. And then I heard we're at that point, though. I think I'm like 1 or 2 weeks behind now. I might be 2 weeks behind. I don't know.
Did you see the new episode of Food Wars?
Oh my god, guys.
They booked that bread so hard. It made me so hot. Get it? It's a food pun. It's temperature. Gotta make sure it's the right. If you don't want to get sick.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hey, you know, you're cooking, man.
Yeah.
You ever seen it? You should watch
Food Wars. I should watch it.
You should.
Tyler's recommended it to me several times.
very
I
good.
finally finished Neon Genesis Evangelion, so I need a new show.
Yeah.
I need to. I need to
anime.
start that.
I'm not sure if it very likely could have been that this week's episode of Food Wars was the season finale. They didn't say it was the season finale, but it felt like it kind of was.
This is just one of those continuing ones, so maybe they just like stopped it for now.
Maybe. I
That's
don't
why I
know.
never knew what like My Heroes like last season's finale was like. And could have just made the next episode.
That's what I like so much about it.
Yeah.
That the seasons don't have closure?
No.
Oh.
They leave things. It's usually like you can tell it's the end of the season because Midoriya is like, wow, I had a bunch of adventures this year. I went to All-Bite brought me to the toy store. Then All-Bite we went shopping, and then All-Bite went on a date with my mom. It was great. But then the bad guy came, and that's usually like how the seasons wrap up.
This season is getting crazy. This last episode.
So another
I'm
aside to our usual format of the show. This is a little bit of a follow-up question to this previous story. If we could choose any game franchise to make into a TV show or animated show, not that they're different, what would we choose?
Fun fact, I was reading ahead on the outline, and you said Dragon Quest XI anime as an example. They just announced a Dragon Quest anime.
Whoa. So I didn't actually put that in. I think Tyler
Yeah,
did.
I threw
Yeah.
that on there.
Hell yeah. Well, yeah, I saw the trailer for it today.
Really?
It's like really the announcement of like, oh, hey, it's coming out.
Is
we're
like
rebooting
actual
it.
Dragon Quest characters? There's like brand new people.
I think it's like its own thing. I think it's a remake of the original like one that came out 30 years ago.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I forget what it's like Dragon Quest Kai. Not Kai. It's like Ken or something. There's a name right after it, but it looks really cool.
That is pretty cool.
Nice.
Okay, so one of the answers is already a reality.
I also thought about doing a Cars spin-off and doing like Rocket League, having like
Cars, like the Pixar movie?
yeah, like the talking cars playing Rocket League.
Yeah.
So would it be like a story-based thing?
That'd be a Telltale
there'd
game.
be something
You got
around
it.
like it.
You're right. Telltale game. Be
Okay,
perfect.
That'd be so hilarious.
gotcha.
I guess he's being like, you could do like a shonen kind of thing where it's like, wow, I want to race the best cars at Rocket League. And it's like, they're actual like little remote control cars in an arena. That'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Cars is one of those series that has flown under the radar of a lot of people, but is an absolute money-making behemoth because of the toys and shit.
Yep.
I was reading that it's actually bigger than Toy Story.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
As
A
far
movie about toys.
true.
Because kids, for some reason, are more attracted to the cars than like some of the other like
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head.
Mr. Potato Head played out as fuck.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I
We don't want that
remember
anymore.
Having my favorite toy from Toy Story when it first came out was that RC car.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I was reading. There's this article that was going on, or I think you can just find it on Wikipedia, so maybe it's not 100%, about the 25 highest grossing franchises of all time.
Pokemon up there.
Pokemon's number one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And Winnie the Pooh is like number 3 or 4.
Wow.
And I was like, that's what made me raise my eyebrow.
Mhm.
But
I could kind of see it though,
Yeah, it's all the stuffed animals. Plus Disney's just a fucking behemoth.
I know, but like, I guess
and it's been around for so long.
it's been around for so long.
So when you look
True.
at the longevity, like it's longer, more years to be like one of the highest grossings. You know?
Do you think that's why China's so upset at Winnie the Pooh because they're higher grossing too, or just because the president got made fun of?
Because he looks like Winnie the Pooh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he totally does.
Let me learn to take a joke. Jeez.
Yeah, dude.
God, I got called stupid every day. I'm not banning anything in my country.
Yeah, it's not like Winnie the
God.
Pooh is a ugly bear.
Yeah,
He's
he's
a fine-looking bear.
Yeah, he's just a little slow.
Yeah, he's mellow.
Yeah.
You should use it to your advantage.
I loves his honey.
Just be like, yeah, I look like Winnie the Pooh, and that's because I'm cool.
You should have just said, "Oh, bother.
Yeah.
Where's my honey?"
Exactly. Missed
you can't take a joke,
opportunity,
I'll tell you.
G. Missed opportunity. Okay, so what else we got? We got a Rocket League Cars spinoff. Okay, that's probably already in the works.
That
Dragon Quest
Bloodborne
11 anime. Yeah, so I want mine, which I just wrote in here. You guys can't see it. I want either one of two Fallout things to happen. I think both could be equally as good. One, a big budget HBO hour-long drama, gritty, post-apocalyptic setting, obviously.
The Last of Us.
Oh, Last of Us could be cool, but let me finish my Fallout. I mean, there would be you could either tell a great story about the initial nuclear war between China and the U.S., or maybe you could have flashbacks to that. But just exploring the adventures of a what's the word I'm looking for? Settlement.
Vault Hunter.
So, but then my other idea is a office style comedy that takes place in a vault that just hasn't been opened for decades, and it's just like the antics of the overseer and all the underlings.
They could definitely do that. There's enough vaults, and all like when in the games, at least the regions you explore, they'll have like the little backstory of like what they did in the vaults.
Yeah, totally. I mean, like the vault, exploring the vaults and finding all the crazy shit that went down, and the ones that were still operational. That's what made those games so special to me.
It wouldn't surprise me if there was a vault that had brainwashed everybody into thinking that they were living a sitcom.
Yeah.
Fallout Show 2, I think, would lend to have a very awesome soundtrack as well.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Very retro.
Definitely.
They
could have all the callbacks to the games. There'd be Pit Boys, and
they could have all the bobbleheads all over the place.
It, of course, would be impossible to meet the expectations. That's why maybe the comedy on some like off-brand obscure channel would be, or a web series would be less likely to draw the ire of millions of Fallout fans that are already pissed off after Fallout 76.
I don't think you can go lower than that.
Yeah, well, true. There's nowhere to go but up.
No, seriously.
Exactly. So fund this, HBO. You had good success with Watchmen. Everybody loves that apparently. So take the other game.
Just do it.
Yeah, even though Watchmen's a comic, but
so my choice would be an anime handled by the same studio in the same style as Demon Slayer of the time period of the Keyblade Wars for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh my god, that'd be too good. That's like asking for like, hey man, I wanna own the moon, and then I also want to put a swimming pool on the moon, and they're like, all right, we can give you the moon, but you can't put a swimming pool. Zoning laws, I'm telling you.
So if I'm allowed to do my perfect dream show, that would be it.
I like it.
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I like that you provided the creators and stuff like that. I should have done that.
It's more for the visual, but like you could say, or the Bloodborne anime, but by the same studio that did the Castlevania anime, because I think that'd be really cool in that style.
Yeah, true. Yeah, that would be very cool. That was sort of the thing that made me think that could be a successful adaptation, was the success of the Castlevania series that people seem to really love.
I want to see how that like trickles down, how they like kind of like point and see like, all right, let's make an adaptation of this, or unless it's somebody's just like, hey, do this, or it's like, oh man, I don't know, my son keeps bugging me about making something about Kingdom Hearts, so I guess we gotta make it.
Yeah. There is an anime that people say is so heavily influential to Bloodborne called Berserk.
Yeah, I want to start watching that.
I have not watched. It's not on any of the streaming services.
I might start reading that. Actually,
maybe it's on Crunchyroll.
It's on
Is
Crunchyroll.
It on Crunchyroll?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Berserk has a lot of. Has it have a TV show? I mean, I know that there's a bunch of movies for it.
There's an older, like from like straight out of the 80s. Hunter x Hunter actually had an original anime around in the 80s, and then the guy went on hiatus, so it stopped right after Greed Island. But then this is the same thing. It's like it went on for a while, and then they stopped for a long, long time, and then they came out with the new adaptation of it, which is all CGI and like is totally split the fan base. People are like, that looks so bad. You can't use CGI in anime.
Oh wow.
And then it's very controversial. I haven't watched it. I really don't.
And when you say CGI, do you mean like how it's incorporated in Attack on Titan, or it's just straight CGI?
It's straight like bad. I mean, it looks all the models look very stiff, and it's not a lot of motion. They do have pretty good effects from what I've seen.
Like Saint Seiya. for Netflix.
I have to watch
That's
this
how
still.
bad.
Was that really bad?
Gotcha.
I want to go back and see the original. I'm gonna try
It's
that.
on Netflix.
Really? The original?
The original's on Netflix.
Why would they put the shitty new one?
They put the shitty new one first and then dropped the original on Netflix as well.
Good.
All right, folks. We are now going to get into our 2020 vision section of the show, where we look ahead to what we think is going to happen in the
Everybody get your
year.
glasses on.
Yep. Pop them on. Get squinting, because we're about to peer off into the distance. All right. So what we're going to start out with, since it is New Year's Day, if you're watching this on demand, if you're watching it live, you're a couple days early, ahead of the curve. Thanks for joining us. Is our resolutions, our gaming resolutions. So, Anthony, you want to start with yours?
Yeah, I will. My resolution is to stop being so hungover on Saturday so I can hang out with my friends. First of all. Second of all, which that'll probably be the hardest one to do. Second of all, I want to play a new genre of game. I'm usually sticking to the JRPG, RPG overall genre, or monster collecting genre kind of
some
game.
action games too.
Yeah, exactly. I like Astral Chain action games. I would definitely want to play more of those, more action. But I want to switch it up, maybe a puzzle game here and there, like lightly sprinkled. First-person shooter, maybe I'll try to give a better shot.
Yeah, get back into Destiny 2, dude. I'm about to do it again.
I want to hop back in. I feel like it's been so long, though. You kind of get like, have they changed a lot about it?
They have, and I hear the new season is sick. They have like a quarterly season thing going, and I hear the stories they're telling are pretty neat. So I'm feeling left out. I got FOMO. Yeah.
I definitely want to try, because playing Call of Duty, I'm like, man, I want to play Call of Duty, but I'd rather play Call of Duty in space with armor.
All right. Well, we'll support you in your expanding your horizons and playing new genres. That's part of mine as well. How about you, Kenny?
So my resolutions start off with, I would like to, starting next year, start consistently streaming Madden on the Level With You Twitch channel.
Okay.
We got something in the works for that.
You know, well, something brewing. I set myself, I want to be a minimum of 15 games next year. And I have way too many in my backlog. My backlog just keeps increasing month after month, week after week, and I haven't been beating games on a consistent basis. I also want to finally hit the 6 figures, in the 6 digits, in my gamer score, 100K.
Okay, so where are you at now?
Almost 82,000. So
it's doable, but you're gonna have to do some achievement hunting.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and that's even if I got every achievement for 8, that would mean 18 games every achievement for.
True. Yeah, that's a lot.
So that would also be hitting my 15 games.
And you're gonna have to play them all on Xbox. Yeah. Okay. Well, and good luck. We'll check back on episode 78 and we'll see how we did.
How I did.
Yeah.
And then the next 2 is just kind of getting more involved with some gaming communities, just like Tyler's trying to do, and also trying to find some other podcasts where I could come on and brand the Level With You channel on theirs. Hopefully, no more than an hour drive. So I'm not trying to drive too much to then talk and then drive back home.
Yeah, totally.
So
yeah, I like that, especially connecting with other podcasts. I know there's got to be some out there. We know that there are. But yeah, and maybe we could have one of them on our show. Who knows?
Yeah, if you guys want, we don't bite.
Do a swappy swappy. Yeah. Well, I dig it, Tyler. It's your turn, and then it's mine.
So I am gonna be streaming some more games, like I did like 3 to 5 years ago.
Back when Undertale was new.
Oh wow!
Yeah, back when Undertale was new. That was a lot of fun. I feel like I have tons of fun doing that, trying to build that community. Maybe get involved in the new MMO. It's been a while since I played an MMO.
Hell yeah.
We got that Temtem game coming out next month. Good. So I think giving that a whirl would be really cool.
What is that?
It's like Pokemon, but an MMO.
Okay.
But it looks a lot better than like a generic, like, I'll play the Pokemon MMO. It's like they have the layout's really good. What I liked about it a lot was the like the layout and just the text. Everything looked nice and simple. It wasn't like crowded. It didn't look overly kind of like smushed together like, hey, this is going to be Pokemon. It has a type chart and everything like that, exactly like Pokemon, but it just looks like what a Pokemon MMO would want to be.
Who's developing?
I think
indie studio.
Yeah, I think Humble Bundle.
Oh, really?
It's a Humble game. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay.
And that's next month.
Yep.
Yeah, because you brought it up, and then I had actually just watched a video on it. I think like 2 hours before that on YouTube about some guy breaking down the monster design. So
Cool.
Yeah, it sounds like I think right now they're in early access, or not next month they're launching it in early access. Right now they're doing a testing alpha for it. And I joined their Discord chat, and it sounds like they're constantly posting updates on bug fixes and stuff like that. And they're encouraging people to go check it out, see if the bug fix worked, and people are able to submit any bugs that they're finding on it. So it sounds like they're engaging a lot with their community who's testing it right now, and hopefully come next month. Sounds like a lot of people are interested in it. There doesn't really seem, for a game like that, you kind of almost anticipate that there's going to be some hate because it is so much kind of like Pokemon. But overall, it seems like a lot of people are looking forward to it.
he's got a better chance in that Enchanted Portals game.
Okay.
Much better chance.
And was that it, or did you have anything else?
And then I wanted to get more involved in some video game communities, like forums, Reddit, Twitch, YouTube.
We want to start doing more tournaments.
Yeah, we're going to be doing more of those. Set some goals for that. Hopefully maybe like 4 in the next year. That would be really cool. And I want to try and complete 1 game a month.
1 game a month. Okay.
Yeah, it could be short ones, long ones. Maybe it'll just be Persona.
just push that to like a 6-month kind of
Yeah.
wheel it out over.
All right. So for me, I also with Anthony, I really want to expand, play some new genres. There's just a few holes in my repertoire that I really have little to no experience in. These are RTS games, FMV games. There's a couple that came out in the last few years in particular that I really want to play. Her Story, which came out in 2016, just sounds like really fascinating, and I have never played it. And I've never played StarCraft. I played Warcraft for like a couple hours. I barely dabbled in an MMO. If you're catching a trend here, it's that I've never had a gaming PC. I've always been a console guy. So maybe that's in the cards. Don't know if I can make that big of an investment this year. Maybe if we get a roommate, we could maybe do that. And I also want to start writing more about games after beating them and not letting too much time pass to where the thoughts aren't fresh in my mind, because a lot of times I'll play a game and I'll say, oh yeah, I'm going to review this one. Week or two goes by, it's not relevant anymore. I really just need to be taking notes as I'm playing the game and writing it the day after I finish it or a day of, just so I can convey my thoughts in the way that I want to, and then we can start getting more content on the channel.
I was gonna say, why don't you try to keep like a little small notepad and just try at the end of every gaming session, like try to just, even if it's a line or two, just what you thought, like something you could just that caught you throughout those 2 hours with whatever game you were playing. Put it down so that you can go back to it. You make bullets in your notepad so that you're able to, after you beat the game, you're able to review it. Okay, you could cross out this one. I don't feel the same way by the end of the game of this,
Yeah, that's actually a really good idea. And I wrote this, but I kind of gone back on it. I said maybe I don't need to beat so many games, because I beat 42 games in 2019, which is my record now. And I was like stuck with a few of those that maybe I wasn't feeling all the way, but whatever. That's just what I do. I beat games, so
that's okay. I don't think there's anything wrong. I mean, it's better than that. I mean, I have the opposite problem. I buy a bunch of games and I just have them on my shelf. I've probably beaten maybe 4 or 5 of them.
The same year. Like my collection is huge at this point in time, and I'm like, how many have I beaten?
I don't know. Well, that's
and I got some gems that I haven't barely even played just because of the abundance of games I have. I haven't played any of the Red Dead 2 story.
I know that breaks my heart every time I hear it.
Breath of the Wild. Barely played any of it.
Okay.
There's gems that I have.
Yeah, that's that should be your resolution. Go back into your backlog. You should maybe just make a list of like 30 games in your backlog. Just say, what's top priority, what's low priority. Be like, okay, maybe even assign them for like, I'm gonna play this one in February, right? And I'm gonna pretend like it just came out. You're like, man, did you guys get that new Breath of the Wild? It's amazing.
Hell yeah.
It's gonna be tough because then the other games are dropping.
Yeah, well, maybe just take the first week of every. No, you're getting way too technical.
Put Breath of the Wild on top. Beat that before the second one comes out. Like, you can beat that pretty quickly. So. Put it wherever you want.
Not that quickly. I mean,
you can like
if you put it out, if you jam pack them like
if you cheese it and speed run, you can beat it in 15 minutes.
If you jam pack it like Anthony played Pokemon, then you can beat it.
Oh my god, that went by like I've never played a game that fast.
60 hours in 4 days.
Yeah,
I was sick.
That's intense. That's intense. So yeah, that pretty much sums it up. I also want to keep contributing to the channel, making more long form, or I don't just say long form, but authored content. So now we're going to go on to what we're most looking forward to playing in 2020, as well as what we think our game of the year in 2020 is going to be, and what will actually not come out in 2020 that is scheduled for 2020. So why don't we start with that one? Because this is a nice, easy one we can just knock off.
So the one that's not going to come out?
Yes.
Breath of the Wild 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your reasoning.
All we've heard is a speculation in regards to it being in production. We have not seen, except for the little bit of that we saw, like, little teaser, but nothing really concrete.
I don't think production, man.
It is,
Yeah.
but I mean, I don't think it's that far along.
Okay.
And if it does drop next year, it's tail end, like real close to where you're like really. I don't think it'll even be considered for award shows.
It'll be like Smash Brothers, like mid-December release. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Breath of the Wild.
But I think a big factor in that is that they already have the new engine down. Like, they had to make that from scratch for Breath of the Wild, so they already have that, which is probably a huge part of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tend to think that I could go either way. I think it's 50-50 on whether it actually comes out, and it doesn't have a date yet. I think it's just sort of assumed that it's time. I mean, early 2017 was when Breath of the Wild came out, so once it's past March, it will have been 3 years. And then think about the turnaround time, and I know that this is a much bigger game, but from Ocarina to Majora's Mask, that was 2 years, 98 and 2000, I think. Ocarina was 98 and Majora was 2000.
Yeah, I think it's the localization, because I know it was so rushed. Yeah, I think it was either 2 years or it was just 1 year.
Oh, wow.
At time, because that's why they used a lot of the same assets from Ocarina to Majora.
Huh. Well, so the game I think that's going to get delayed, and it's sad, but this is purely speculation, but I know it's already been supposed to coming out in like early 2020, but I think Watch Dogs Legion has a rough road ahead, due to how sad Ubisoft and its investors were after the release of Ghost Recon Breakpoint, as well as underwhelming performances from some of their other recent things like The Division 2. Mm-hmm. I think that Watch Dogs has been a series that has always been like on the precipice of being really good. A lot of people like 2, myself included. I got about halfway through it, and then I stopped because I got stuck on a ridiculous puzzle, and I was just renting it. So... and Legion is bold in its departure, as it's got a lot of roguelike things being introduced. I think it's a big risk. I think it's coming out at the end of a generation when everybody's focused on that PS5 coming out or that Xbox Series X coming out. I think it's a difficult, because it's definitely not coming out Q1. They haven't said when it's coming out. I think I could see this easily being pushed to a 2021 release or just being scrapped. And I know, like, the scrap thing, that would be like big news if that happened, but I think it gets pushed to next gen or gets scrapped, and that's my hot take.
What about you?
What about you, Anthony? What, you didn't do the homework? We can skip you. I can go back to you. No worries.
We got a couple.
You could just join us with Breath of the Wild too.
Because they do have a tendency to kind of push those things back. I want to say maybe Cyberpunk. I mean, unless that's like
that doesn't come out in 2020, then there will be riots in the street.
That is concrete 2020.
It's in the title, isn't it? Cyberpunk 2020?
No,
2077.
Oh yeah, if they got up till 2077 to launch, that'd be fine. They can just wait. Push the date back.
What is that? April or is it May?
April.
Is it April? Okay. Wow. So Tyler, any guesses on a delay or a cancel?
Mine was just like, I thought Breath of the Wild too was probably the biggest thing to get delayed. Gotcha.
All right, well, move on to what the biggest surprise will be of 2020. What do we think we're going to just be caught off guard by and be saying, holy shit, we got to make the episode title called this?
Minecraft Dungeons.
PlayStation's coming out with their own streaming service, and it's going to combat xCloud and Stadia, and they're going to come out guns a-blazing, and it's going to be awesome.
They already have one.
So
Yeah, but it's going to be even better.
So my biggest surprise is that Dragon Ball Z Kakarot will knock off and break a lot of the stigmas around anime video games. It's gonna be that big, that good of a game.
Okay. And this is just your gut telling you that this is the time for Goku to shine? And
So secretly, I've been keeping up and watching as many videos behind it and just gameplay and just features and things you could do. It seems like they're really, really putting in a lot into this game.
okay.
And until it's released, you really won't know what the final product is. But I think that finally we're gonna get an adventure anime game that it's gonna be worth saying, like, I bought this $60.
Is it going to be in your top 5 of next year?
God, I hope so.
I'm hoping so. I believe it'll be number 5.
Okay, there you go. That's going to be fun to look back on.
Well,
Is it, do the people that worked on Dragon Ball Fighters, are they in on it?
no, that's Atlas. No.
It looks
Or no,
nothing.
Arc
It looks,
System Works?
it looks
Is
nothing
it-
like each other.
Are
they-
Really? I thought they had a pretty
No.
similar art style.
It looked, no,
I mean, they're both
not at
cell
all.
shaded.
This one has more of an art style, almost like a mix of both of that and Xenoverse. That it seems.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But Arc System, that would be amazing if they did that, though. Arc System Works is their art style is amazing. It works great for Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, I mean, Dragon Ball Fighters is a phenomenal looking game.
What is your biggest surprise?
My biggest surprise is that on E3 2019 stage, you will see
2020?
2020 stage, you will see Phil Spencer on Nintendo's stage talking about how coming this holiday, you'll be able to stream the latest and greatest Xbox titles on your Switch
Through Project X Cloud?
through Project X Cloud. Yes.
Okay.
You won't be able to buy them. It'll be a service-based thing. It'll be like a true Netflix where it is streaming and not down. I know you can download on Netflix, but I haven't thought this all the way through. Okay.
That's okay.
I think that we've just seen so much with their partnerships with kicking it off with the Minecraft thing, the Minecraft crossplay,
Yep.
and then
Cuphead.
coming to Switch. And they've said that like there are Xbox Live achievements somehow incorporated into that. And I know Nintendo is not stupid. I know that they have not invested big on streaming like Sony and Microsoft and Google have. And I think that this is a way in. They're like, hey, this friendly Phil guy over here is... maybe he's not full of shit. Yeah, maybe we'll actually partner up here and this can be beneficial to both of us. So there it is. xCloud on Switch.
Anthony, I know you didn't do your homework, but any last second surprise you think?
I think I got one. I think the biggest surprise is going to be, it probably won't be a lot of them, but they're going to put in a new service, maybe two if we're lucky, in the Nintendo Online for Switch, Nintendo 64 and GameCube, like they're doing with the NES and Super NES.
See what? That would be cool. I would prefer to actually pay for them, though.
Yeah, I mean,
you know?
if anything, like that'd be amazing. But if they had like an on the App Store, they're like, all right, we have it, but you have to pay for your GameCube games. Totally fine.
Yeah, right.
I would some Sunshine. And, oh, I got so many. Billy Hatcher and the Giant Egg. It's not a good game, but you can play it for a little bit. It's fun. Bat and Kratos. It's a good RPG on the GameCube. It's not good RPG.
Oh, wow. I heard there's some streamer did something really crazy with that recently.
Yeah, I think there's somebody who tried to do like a speed run of it, which was like absolutely like 200 something hours.
Yeah,
It's disgusting.
yeah. Crazy.
All right, since nobody liked mine, I'm going to make another one.
Okay.
One Punch Man, a hero nobody knows, is going to be the next big competitive fighter game on the scene.
I don't want to
You
be a
guys
dick,
have a
but you're
lot.
gonna be wrong.
You have a lot.
It looks. I wish that. I just so sad. It just looks. It doesn't look good. It just doesn't.
I know.
It just.
That was more of a joke.
It just doesn't look good.
Tyler's just echoing Kenny's same answer with another show.
Right.
No, he's throwing out the stigmas.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are like,
The one day they make a good anime game.
Kakarot is gonna break down the stigmas, and you want to bring him back up with that fighting game?
I saw
that's
some
coming
funny-
out soon. That's like February, I think. The
Yeah,
whatever, my One Punch Man fighting game.
Yeah.
My One Punch Dragon Ball Fighters.
Yeah, because they got the My Hero One's Justice 2 coming out.
I wish I didn't buy the first one because it just looks like the same thing.
With more characters.
With more characters.
They got Lemillion.
It could just DLC for the first game.
That's true.
Yeah, but I mean...
That they just going the same Naruto route.
Literally, yeah. So, like, I wish I wasn't, I guess, was it this long back then? Like, oh, wow, Naruto Ultimate Ninja 1, 2.
They pumped them out.
They did.
They pumped them out quick.
Okay, so for next year, when we record this episode, we are definitely going to look back and look at these answers. Put a sticky note somewhere, Tyler, so we can look back and laugh. And then we'll do the same thing for 2021.
All right.
And there's still one more thing we have to predict. What will be our game of the year in 2020?
Ooh.
Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep. I mean...
Yeah, very likely.
Very likely, but I'm still going with Last of Us Part 2, just because I think that it's been in the cooker for so long. Everything we've seen looks so great.
They're not going to burn it? Do you think they're going to get it out nice and golden brown?
Yes, I do. I think that it's going to be a perfect swan song to the PS4, even though Ghost of Tsushima comes out after, so one of two swan songs. And the first is definitely my game of the year of 2013, and I think this one will follow suit. I'm a big Naughty Dog fan, and Cyberpunk has a chance to give it a run for its money, as well as stuff like Doom Eternal, and let's see what else we got.
Don't count out Persona 5 The Royal.
That's counted out.
Nope, not a chance.
It's gonna be a good one.
I mean, I'm sure it's going to be an awesome game, but like, it's still the same game with like what 20% new content,
Like 40 to 60 hours.
Wow.
40 to 60
they're doing
hours.
the same. Oh, so they're doing the same thing they
worth
did
it.
with Persona 3. Then they're doing the whole FES. I'm like, I wonder if it's gonna be in before or after. Or
Wow,
maybe
I
it's
didn't
in the
realize it
middle.
was-
So my understanding, there's going to be some of it in the before and some sprinkled along.
Oh my god.
So
We're
yeah,
gonna have to have a whole
40 to
week
60
of
hours. At least
episodes.
my understanding.
Interesting. Anything that takes place after the original game?
probably.
It seemed like it.
Yeah.
They'll probably
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Cool.
From previews that I saw, it seemed like there was some post game.
Then there's other stuff to consider,
I'm
like
gonna go with No More Heroes 3. That's what I'm gonna put my money on.
Ooh.
No More Heroes 3.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that because I've loved both those games. And Travis Strikes Back. To me, I could get it. It's a nice little departure from the usual genre, but disappointing to me.
Gotcha. So yeah, I'm sure Cyberpunk will be up there. We also got all the PS5 and Xbox Series X games that we have yet to see, which is the vast majority of them. We've seen one on each, so who knows? Maybe we'll get something.
Kirby's Air Ride 2.
We'll get a Super Mario World or a Halo or one of those phenomenal launch titles that is strong right out of the gate. But yeah, so Last of Us 2, that's my prediction. Tyler, did you say yours already? Cyberpunk?
No, Persona 5.
Oh,
Right, the
Persona
Royal.
5.
It
Or-
could be my game of the year. My
Well-
game of the year, not the game of the year.
No, sure, fair
They
enough.
probably won a
fair
lot
enough.
of awards still. It'll be like, Persona's back means it's new. Gotta put in the awards.
Yeah.
Gotta do it.
Okay, and we could go through the list of all the things coming out, but I think we're doing pretty good as far as runtime goes. Should we talk about what we're most looking forward to?
Usual, I don't know, put the...
Persona 5.
Persona 5.
Usual
That's
subjects up
Tyler,
there.
You're obsessed. Now, let's go through some of the bigger exclusives. You wanted me to wrap up?
I think it's time to wrap up.
All right, we're gonna be usual subjects.
Wow.
I'll tell you right now. You got a lot of FPS games. We got. I'm gonna do all the anime games on Bravely Default 2. We got that Blue Justice Avengers, not Blue Justice Avengers. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. That's gonna be sick. There's probably some boobs in there. And then I don't know, just usual stuff, puzzles, card games.
I love when one of my co-podcasts will like audibly sigh into the microphone when I start talking. At least I
You said
know
you were gonna wrap it up, and then you went, okay.
you are correct, sir. We need to have a timer so I know how long we've been going. All right, so if you've been watching, thank you so much. If you've been a fan of the show since we started, then you are the true MVP. We've been going now for 7 months, building up a still teeny community, but we want to keep growing. And yeah, you guys have any last words of 2019?
We've got a date planned for our next Super Smash Brothers tournament.
Okay.
If you want to participate, keep an eye out on social media. We'll have our website up, hopefully by the beginning of February. And that's going to be lvlwithyou.com. And the date for the next Smash Brothers tournament is April 2nd.
Mark
Thursday.
your calendars. Mark your
April
calendars.
2nd.
So if you like the Level With You page on Facebook, you will stay up to date with all that stuff. There's going to be some cool prizes. The production's going to be even better than we had it last time. So check it out.
It's going to be good.
What about you, Anthony?
It's been a good year. We've, I can say definitely that I've been with this podcast a lot longer than I've been in any romantic relationship, so that's good. That's a good start. Keeping things nice and spicy and fresh. Yeah, it's been great. I want to expand my horizons some more and hopefully not drink as much. But we'll see. One of those things will happen.
My closing remarks for next year, I think starting maybe in January, I'm going to start, if he wants to play new genres, I'm going to start bringing Anthony into some Madden.
Oh my God. I was actually thinking about putting no sports games because I will fall asleep. Remember that time we played, what was that game? Was it NBA, or no, was it NBA? It was NBA, and then everybody thought that I was losing, so I shut the game off. I didn't shut it off. I hit the home button by accident. I'm sorry. Basketball games aren't fun to me.
Okay, well. You were done? Go.
Yeah, I was done. I really don't have any last remarks.
Okay.
Be back with you guys next week. So.
Yep, we'll see you then. We'll be back on hopefully our Tuesday schedule. Our last two have been on Mondays, so check it out around 6 o'clock on Facebook if you want to watch it live, as well as our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/levelwithyou. We'll see you next week. Peace.
See you next year.
Next year. Can I end it on a nice Christmas joke? Why did the ladies love Jesus?
Why?
Because he was hung like this. Happy New Year!
Oh, boy.